Hello! Welcome to the first video in my new library. And I feel very weird sitting down and filming a video today. One, because I haven't done a sit-down video in, literally months. August, maybe? I don't know. Not in this house, not in a long time. Got this camera out of a box, was dead entirely. So welcome to the library, welcome to you, welcome to the camera. Hi. And welcome to my end of year TBR. Very ambitious end of year TBR, and slightly delusional. At the beginning of the year, as I do at the beginning of every year, I filmed a priority TBR list, and I have had a little peep through that, and I have done okay. I thought I had maybe done a little bit better, but I have actually done okay. And I have some books that I still need to get through to complete that. We'll talk about it as I get there. But on top of that, there are a few releases that came out this year that I want to get to before the end of the year. A couple of rereads that I need to get to before the year is out. So let's just crack on with what I need to ideally read before 2023 is out. Starting with the rereads. I still need to reread House of Always and The Discord of Gods by Jen Lyons. I'm doing a Patreon buddy read of this series, and House of Always is the November book. I need to read that very soon. Discord of Gods is our December book, and that will be how we close out the year of Patreon buddy reads. This series, which is A Chorus of Dragons, starts with Ruin of Kings and is one of my absolute favourites. If you haven't heard me rave about Chorus of Dragons in the past, then hello, my name's Jade, nice to meet you. Because that's pretty much all I ever talk about. Chorus of Dragons is about a young man called Kieran, who is the centre of a great many prophecies and is kind of unaware of that until a royal house get hold of him and declare him as their lost heir. But as well as the royal house getting hold of him, the gods want a piece of him, the dragons want a piece of him, the demons want a piece of him, and chaos ensues, as you would expect. Incredible world, incredible writing, incredible series, and I need to finish my reread of it because I love it very much. So those two first. Next up is a few books that came on my priority TBR list. Now, when I made that list, I kind of knew I was being a bit ambitious, because although the list itself consisted of the first book in a bunch of series, my intention was for that to then represent the whole series, and I wanted to finish out some series. There are two series that I have not finished out, and I'm gonna be honest with you, will not finish out before the end of the year, so they're not in this video. Are there two series or is it just one? There is one series that I haven't finished that's on that list that I've started, and that would be Legacy of Light, but I'm not going to get to that by the end of the year. There are three books that either are standalones or representative of whole series that I haven't even started. I don't know if that makes sense. We'll just talk about it as it goes. But first up, The Emperor's Blades by Brian Staveley. This was supposed to represent the whole series, which I don't actually know the name of, but this is book one. I haven't read book one. So, amendment to that is I'm just gonna read book one by the end of the year and then it counts. Watch me now not do that. But this is my friend Alicia's favourite, and she thinks I will love it. And the Emperor has been murdered, Emperor's Blades, leaving the Empire in turmoil. That's all I need to know. Political, up my street. But other than that, I really don't know what this is about, and I'm not going to find out anymore. This is not an informative video of what these books are about. This is a video about what I plan to read. But yeah, I've heard fantastic things about this, not just from Alicia, but from other people as well. It seems like a pretty well-received one, so we'll see if I get to it. I really should, though, because I said at the beginning of the year that I would. Similarly, I hate myself for not having read this. I wanted to read the whole Dandelion Dynasty this year. Haven't even started The Grace of Kings. So, amendment to that priority TBR, I just want to read book one before the end of the year. Have you noticed how so far all the books I'm talking about are really big? That doesn't change. I don't know anything about this series, and it was entirely a impulse purchase from Broken Binding when these beautiful editions were released. That's all I can tell you, so I really hope I love it, because I spent a lot of money on them, and they're beautiful. So if I could just read the first one before the end of the year, that would be ideal. Epic fantasy quartet, skimming, Emperor on his deathbed, people are exhausted, counsellors conspire for their own gain. Oh, yeah. Internal conflict. That's what I like. There's a lot of things that I like. And the last book that's on that priority TBR that I haven't yet got to is A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. I had an arc of this, and I still haven't read it. Went to the release event for this, was super excited about it, was like, yeah, talking about it's made me really excited because there is something to do with, like, icy, I don't know if it's icy magic or just an icy kingdom, snowy something, which is very much my thing as well. I loved Priory of the Orange Tree very much, and actually read it very quickly, so I don't know why this scares me quite so much, but it does. And I just keep putting it off. And I need to stop putting it off and actually read it. Again, since going to that event, I can't remember much about what this is about, other than it being a prequel to Priory. By how much, I'm not sure. It's got the picture from the event in it. How cute. Oh! A volcano erupts, bringing with it an age of terror and violence. And our main characters, who are all women, must find the strength to protect humankind from a devastating threat. I'm probably gonna love it. I love the first one. Okay, next up are just nice to haves. Like, I would really like to get to these soon. These are the ones that are on my mind that I want to read soon that don't necessarily have any strong obligation to them, but I want to read them. First up of that is The Art of Destiny. However, to read The Art of Destiny, I really want to reread The Art of Prophecy. So just catch me adding 2 massive books to this TBR that I've got, like, what, 40 days? Not even 40 days to read. I absolutely adored Art of Prophecy. I love a prophecy. I can't, off the top of my head, think of a book that I have read with a prophecy that I then haven't enjoyed. And in this one, our main character is the prophesized hero, and therefore he's been raised in splendor. Everyone gives him whatever he wants because he's a hero. And our other main character witnesses this and is very much like, just because the prophecy says he's going to be a hero doesn't mean he doesn't need to be trained to actually do the things that the prophecies say he's going to do. He's supposed to be able to kill the king. But if no one's trained him how to do that, he's not just going to snap his fingers and the king drop dead. So she needs to snap some sense into this boy. But regardless, turns out the prophecy's wrong, their whole religion is based on a lie, and everything crumbles around them. And that's book 2 in that. None of that is a spoiler, believe it or not. That all happens very early on. I love the writing, I love the story, I love a prophecy. Our main character is so whingy. Like, he's so annoying, but he's also a child that was raised believing that he's supposed to be this prophesized hero, and then his whole life is taken away from him, so, you know, you get it. And the woman that's training him, Taishi? Is it Taishi? It is Taishi, look at me remembering. She is a miserable old woman, so, you know, great characters. I love them. Next up, another nice to have for me would be The Will of the Many by James Islington. Every time I want to say Islington. Every single time. But The Will of the Many by James Islington. I read the Lycanius trilogy from him in the beginning of this year. I read them very quickly, and have been eagerly anticipating another book from him. This was released April! I finished the Lycanius trilogy in February. And then didn't read this in April. I got this in April, and I really need to read it. I don't know what this is about. Again, I feel like I'm repeating myself and I apologise. I know there is an academy, and I know that this is Roman based. But other than that, I think I've kind of avoided looking. Ooh, yeah, I have definitely avoided looking because I didn't know that. The truth is, I've been sent to the academy to find answers, to solve a murder, to search for an ancient weapon, to uncover secrets that may tear the Republic apart. So that's what our main character's mission is. I didn't know that because I haven't read the blurb, and I don't think I want to know any more than that because I personally very much enjoy going into a book not really expecting much or knowing what to expect and everything being a surprise. That's what I'll do with this one. I really hope I love it. Next up is another release that I had all intention of reading as soon as it landed in my hands, and I am surprised that I haven't got to this one already. This one was a much more recent release, but The Fragile Threads of Power by Victoria Schwab. V.E. Schwab, sorry, she doesn't go by Victoria in her adult stuff, and I have something on my book. Good job I have multiple copies because there's a dirty mark on this dust jacket. And this is just the standard copy, so it's fine. My fancy one's up there. But this is the start of the Threads of Power series. Is it going to be called the Threads of Power series or just Threads series? Which takes place after the events of the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy, which is another one of my absolute favourite trilogies and holds one of my favourite characters, which is Delilah Bard. I know she splits a room. I am in favour of Delilah Bard. I love her. This, however, follows a new character called Tess, who is a young woman with a knack for fixing broken things. And she's thrust into the affairs of the Antari. Her unique powers can weave the threads of power together. So, there is rumours of rebellion, there is rebellion, there is chaos in Red London, and magic is dwindling, and Tess may be able to weave it back together with her threads of power, I think. Haven't read it yet. Again, this is one that I kind of have avoided reading anything about, because the less I know, the more pleasantly surprised I will be when reading it. So I did actually only just find out what this is about today. Ruined it for myself, for you. Very excited about that. Really annoyed about that dirty mark on the dust jacket. Last but by no means least, I have Skandar and the Phantom Rider by A.F. Stedman. I never remember that name. This is Skandar Book 2, first book being Skandar and the Unicorn Thief. I really loved that. Like, loved on the same level of, like, Nevermore. You know how Nevermore was the sort of middle grade that even people that didn't like middle grade ended up loving? I feel like that is also the sort of book that Skandar is. I feel like it can unite readers. It's really good. About a young boy called Skandar who wanted to be a unicorn rider. And in this world, you are bonded to your unicorn, and your unicorn has these elemental abilities. However, wild unicorns are not nice. Wild unicorns are vicious, violent things. But only certain children can be bonded to unicorns, and there is a unicorn thief around who steals a very famous unicorn. This is the sequel to that one, which I do not know what is about, because I have not read it yet. We shall discover together. But yeah, I love the first one, and really want to read the second one. And also, can we just have some appreciation for how beautiful that is, because I love it. Gorgeous. And there we have it. There is my over-ambitious end-of-year TBR. Will I manage it? Place your bets now. I'm going with no. Place your bets, seriously. What one should I prioritise? Absolutely, definitely. Don't let this slip through the cracks. Let me know down below. And let me know what books you would like to read by the end of the year. But otherwise, I think we are done for today, so thank you very much for hanging out with me for a little bit, and I shall see you again in whatever comes next. Bye!